2024 really turned out to be an incredible year for bourbon, but there are some bottles that fell short of expectations. Let's get into it. Hello everyone, welcome back to Brad's Bourbon Reviews. I'm Brad, and today we're going to talk about 5 bottles that to me were just a little disappointing. Now, this does not mean that they were all bad, because in fact some of them were not bad, and I really personally liked them. They just didn't quite do what I was expecting them to do. I will go bottle by bottle and explain my case for each one of these. The only rule I had for this video is that I had to try it for the first time in 2024, and there's only one bottle I think that didn't come out in 2024, but it's a single barrel. So I will get to that when we get to it. But all the other ones were releases from this year. These are in no particular order except the last one. The last one being the most disappointing for me. Let's go ahead with bottle number 1. This bottle is Maker's Mark The Heart Release 2024. Coming off the high of Maker's Mark BEP for me, which was, for me personally, the height of the wood finishing series for Maker's Mark. And then them coming out and being like, we're done with the wood finishing series. And then being like, just kidding, we're actually just revamping the wood finishing series. I had really high expectations for the Heart Release, and it just fell so short of expectations for me. I was really hoping for something really good. I do not like this one. This is one of the bottles on here that I do not like. Like, I flat out don't like this one. It actually has, made me not really want to pursue more Maker's Mark stuff. It's that bad. If this is the direction the wood finishing series is going, you left me behind at BEP. And I had opportunity to buy like the Lost Recipe or whatever, and I just haven't. I've like completely lost my enthusiasm, what little bit there was for Maker's Mark. Outside of a few things, I still think some of the private selections are really, really solid. But I've been burned by them this year. And this was the first time. So I'm good with the wood finishing series. Moving on to the next one. This bottle right here is the one I was talking about in the intro that I think actually was a bottle that came out in 2024, but I definitely tried it for the first time ever in 2024. It is Old Forester Single Barrel Strength Rye. Another one I actually hate. I do not like this at all. It tastes like grass. It smells like grass. I'm not a fan of this at all. It is one of my least favorite bottles of the year. I highly doubt I ever go back to it. I have had literally the one pour for the review. You wouldn't even know this bottle was open. It's not good. I don't like it at all. And the thing that's so funny to me about this is everyone's like, you just got a bad bottle, which is totally fair. They are single barrels. But if it's even like, if any of the other bottles are even close to this, like, I'm good. I'm good. Old Forester, I always say, doesn't make bad whiskey. And then I tried this and I immediately stopped saying that because this is not good to me. I don't like it at all. Yeah. So that's that's this one. Moving on to the next one. This one right here is a bottle that I actually really, really enjoyed. It was a little disappointing. It wasn't like overwhelmingly disappointing like some of the other ones. I still really thought it was good. But I was hoping that this bottle would be kind of looked at the way that Russell's Reserve 15 is looked at. And I'm talking about Old Granddad 16. And it's just not. It's not this like, crazy high age statement bourbon that gets all this love and attention. It straight up isn't. I think they shot themselves in the foot with the price point on this. I think if this was even just $150, I think people would be flocking to this left and right. I really like it, but I fully acknowledge that it's not for everybody. And even the things I do like about it, I think it would be better if they kind of went in a different direction with this. It's not as good as Russell's 15. And I love Old Granddad. It is good. I like it, but it's a little disappointing. And it's actually the catalyst for this list, because I was like, man, I really liked it, but like, man, it really could have been so much better. And it's what it is. Moving on to the next one. Second to last one here. Another one for me that I actually like, but to me, it was such a hard drop off from last year's release to this year's release. And again, I'm like in the minority with this. I think most people actually prefer this year's release to last year's release. But I'm talking about Jack Daniel's 10-year batch 3. I still like this bottle, and I still probably would say maybe it's like contention for top 10 of the year, or like maybe top 15 for the year. But it's just not as good as the 2. And I was really disappointed because I was hoping it would get better and not worse. And in my opinion, it got worse. Again, people really, really like this one, and I don't know why. I'm a huge Jack Daniel's fan, but this one to me it was disappointing. But it is good. I think if you can't find a 10 batch 1 or 2, and you can find a 3, I would still say get it. They're really good. It's just not as good as the 10 batch 1 or 2. Batch 1 is really good, but 2 to me is just like, Whiskey doesn't get much better than that at that proof. Moving on to the last one, and this one is the most disappointing for me. I tried the release last year, the first release of this, and when I found this bottle, I way overpaid for it. Now, that is not why I'm saying that this was the most disappointing for me personally. That I really do my best with not letting that factor in my decisions when I'm doing bourbon reviews, and this is no exception. But I was so excited to finally see one of these in person because I only tried it through like a sample through a friend. And I was finally so excited to get my hands on my very own Maker's Mark Cellar Age 2024, and it is just really bad. It's not good at all. I can't believe that they thought they could get away with putting this out as a special release at the price point. I think these are like $150 or something. I've paid way more than that, but I did have the first video on YouTube, so that says something, doesn't it? No? All right. I'm not a fan of this. I will not buy another one of these. The only way I would buy one of these is if I tried it, and I wouldn't pay for it. I'd have to either like get sent a sample from Maker's Mark to do a review of, or, you know, a viewer send me a sample of a really good one, like next year's if it's really good. And even then, I still don't know if I would shell out the money for this. This burned me completely. This in combination with the Heart release, like I'm done with Makers. They just cannot do special releases well. And I don't know why, because Maker's Mark 101 is fantastic. The private selections, you know, they vary, but there are some really, really good ones. And for whatever reason, they just cannot get a 12-year bourbon right. A 12 and 13-year bourbon. It's mostly a 13-year-old bourbon. I don't know. It's just the most disappointing to me by far of all of 2024. I would be saying that if I got this bottle for free, because it is just that disappointing. Well, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Comment down below. Let me know what your most disappointing bottles of 2024 were. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe while you're down there. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, cheers. A big thank you to all the Patreon supporters you see on screen right now.